AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Coming right up, another fun varsity sports show.
Hi kids, this is DJ Soulman from the Funk Junkies, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show with my man Vince Delicio. And what's your last name?
It's Delicio.
Okay, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah,
right.
Okay.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
You're live. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince Delicio live out at Ziggy's Coffee in Tempe, Terrace and Apache Boulevard. Literally a stone's throw from not only Arizona State University, a bunch of beautiful condos and apartments, and then, of course, the light rail that trucks by here every few minutes. So the location is amazing. And growing up, as a kid in the Phoenix area, riding my bike up and down these streets, I never would have thought what this area turned into, and it is just amazing. We're going to have a great show for you today. We are honored and privileged to be able to continue to do our show remotely throughout the summer, despite record-breaking heat. And fortunately for us, we're inside this morning, so we're going to have a lot of fun in bringing you today's show. And can't believe most of summer is through. But I'm very happy to be joined by such a talented crew throughout the summer, not only with the Cronkite School of Journalism, well represented among our show, with our intern team, fellow broadcasters, the University of Arizona School of Journalism. We've got a talented young journalist out of there. We've got another one, even you talk about a reach. We've got a talented student out at Texas Southern University that is joining us throughout the summer. She's in Houston and introducing everybody throughout the show as we go through. I think you're going to have a lot of fun as you have had a chance to hear their stories all summer, and we'll continue that ride today. Joining me this morning out at Ziggy's Coffee here in Tempe is my fellow broadcaster, a young man who's worked the show with us throughout the summer, providing content and some live co-hosting responsibilities. His name is Brendan Sodell. Brendan, how you doing?
Good. How are you? I'm
all right. So this is great. Brendan, and as well as the rest of the broadcasters that have been co-hosting this summer, have set up, when it's been their turn to co-host the show, they've set up these remote broadcasts. They've really been able to cut their teeth in working with business owners and people in the community, and it's just been I say it's been a great experience because I've been kind of sitting back and watching all this unfold. But Brendan, how's it been this summer? Most people during the summer don't do much of anything, much less get off the couch. You've been working.
Yeah, it's kept me busy. It's given me something to do over the summer instead of just sitting on the couch like you just said.
But you're earning credits too,
yeah,
and to satisfy graduation. So I want to know, before we go to our guest here, your plans. You're done with school. You already walked, right?
Yep, I did in the spring, and this is the last thing I need to do pretty much.
Nice. What a way to go out, huh? Co-hosting the Varsity Sports Show. So, all right, well, let's bring on our guest, and I'm going to let you handle this, Brendan. Who do we have joining us this morning?
We have Rhonda, who I believe you're the GM, right, of Ziggy's Coffee?
I'm the owner and the GM of
all right,
Ziggy's
cool.
Coffee. Yeah.
All right. Well, could you talk a little bit about your position and what you do and how you got here and what made you want to get this job?
Yeah, so my husband and I are from Montana, originally started coming to Arizona because our daughter was down here, and I was a school teacher for 25 years and decided to do something different and love the coffee atmosphere, worked in one in the summer and during the summers and decided what better way to be in a great atmosphere and by the ASU campus because we're surrounded by ASU residents when they come back for the school year. So
Yeah.
that's what got us here.
And how'd you get this location? It seems like pretty much the perfect location. You're right by so many apartments, right next to ASU campus. People walk by this every day. So
Yeah, we have a great friend who's a realtor, and when he was watching this being built, and he's very excited about things, and he's like, Rhonda, Warren, you got to come to this place. This is just cool. And it was when they were promoting the walking, biking, rail community down here in Tempe. In the middle of it, the light rail was going, but then the trolley hadn't got started yet. And we came down here and just fell in love with the area, and then walking through the area and looking at all the apartment complexes. And just young kids give you energy. And so being in a coffee shop that's typically different than others because it's usually filled with college students, young. We also get a lot of people from the community, but just that atmosphere is something that we just loved about it. So here we are.
yeah. What do you think sets your coffee place apart from the other local places around here or the other franchises that have been around the area? What do you guys want to do different from those places to stand out?
I think we provide a great place for people to come and hang out. You know, we have free Wi-Fi for them. Our staff is fantastic. We have been here a year and a half, and we still have all the staff that we started with. And our menu just is, if you want an energy drink, we have energy infusions, we have smoothies, we have coffee, iced hot or blended coffees. We have breakfast burritos and sandwiches under $5. So we also have started lunch sandwiches. So we have a wide variety for people. And like I said, the atmosphere that it presents right now, it's quiet because ASU is not in session. But I think it's just a great place for people to hang out.
And can you talk a little bit more about the menu and the hours of the location so people can know if they're listening and they want to stop in?
Yeah, we're open every day of the week except for Christmas Day. And during the summer, we're open from 7 to 5, 7 days a week. During the school year, we will change and be opened during the school year, we'll be open from 7 to 6, Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, we'll be open 7 to 5. We open a little later than a typical coffee shop because college students don't get up that early, and that's our big that's our business is our ASU. We all, like I said, other people stop in. We do have parking in the parking garage underneath us.
I guess what Brendan is getting to, Rhonda, is what makes you guys better than Starbucks?
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a really personal feel. I love this place. I love the banners in here, and I don't see a lot of this in some of those chain places, you know?
Yeah. So I think, it's the atmosphere that we present. Me being a teacher, you coming to me and asking, I saw that you were a student. I don't say no to the students. So I've done a lot of different things with them. We've shot some movie.
No way.
Yeah, we've had.
What movies?
So just some of the students. So one of our coworkers that works here and stuff did for their classes and stuff. One of them was a breakup on the patio. One was a makeup of friends, and then his was a scary movie called Dark Roast. So they've just been films that kids are working on with projects and stuff. So. As far as our menu and our drinks like that, we just have such a variety of it. Gold Rush Cold Brew is a real popular one that people come. It's our cold brew with cream and caramel that we offer. We are a Colorado franchise based, so we have like a Colorado mocha, which is made with chocolate milk, almond, and coconut. It's supposed to be like an almond joy.
You had me at chocolate.
Yeah.
Do you feel like over the summer? Because right now I'm sitting here, and thank you by the way. I'm sitting here drinking a hot coffee. And do you sell a lot of the cold drinks just more in the summer, or is it year round, or like what's the drink of choice if I'm going to walk in here and I've been coming here for months? Like what is Ziggy's? Like what is the ultimate drink to get at Ziggy's Coffee?
I would say our most popular is, like I said, our Gold Rush Cold Brew, which is our cold brew with cream and caramel. But, everybody gets their favorite. For the blender drinks, when the kids are around, it's a white peanut butter mocha. Is very popular because we put real peanut butter in the blender. So it's like a frappe at Starbucks, but it's a blender, and we put real peanut butter in it. And then we have the energy-infused drinks. And our energy-infused drinks... we have, this summer we launched 5 new flavors. So one was the shock melon, and it's got sour candy and watermelon, like a Sour Patch. And so I think everybody finds out what they like. And the thing that's unique about us is we have so many varieties of things. We also have 3 different kinds of chais. And so I think we fit a lot of people, whether you like coffee or you don't like coffee, we have something for you.
Nice. Brendan, I'm thrilled. I have to commend you, my friend, because you come here a lot, being the fact that you live down the street. So this is quite the location. It's amazing. It's part of the student culture, the vibe. I mean, obviously, it is ASU. This is Arizona State University, one of their own, and Rhonda, you put together quite an amazing location here. Thank you so much for allowing us in. Guys, once again, we're out at Ziggy's Coffee on the corner of Terrace and Apache, right in the heart of Tempe. Come on out. We're here till 10, but they're obviously here much more so, being open at what time again, Rhonda?
Till 5.
Till 5, 7 to 5 every day. Come on out and say hi to Rhonda. Drop our name if you want, and it won't get you a free cup of coffee, but they'll say, "Oh, wow, you're listeners of the Varsity Sports Show."
We'll give you $1 off if you come in and drop their names. So
nice.
We'll give you $1 off
there
your
you
drink.
go. See, you're getting something for nothing. You just show up and you say that you're listeners of the Varsity Sports Show, and you'll get a discount on your brew. So thanks so much, Rhonda, for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thanks, Brendan, and good luck with your career.
No problem.
All
No problem.
right.
Thank you.
Awesome. Also joining us on the line, guys, is our old friend who's had a chance to co-host the show a few times throughout the summer, and he's actually joining in remotely. He was on with us last week. He's joining us from Orange County, California, Costa Mesa. His name is Kenji Ito. Kenji, how are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. We're out here at Ziggy's Coffee, and Brendan and I, we're previewing another amazing show with the content that you guys put together this week. Looking forward to it. And Brendan, I tell you what, I'm going to turn it over to you, and Kenji, you can update us on what's going on with you this summer.
Yeah, I'm just here with my family and just kind of spending one last summer before I go out to the working force.
Pretty much the same thing with me. I'm moving out this weekend, going back to my parents for a bit, and then just trying to find a job and find a stable job to keep me busy.
So I actually have this question for you, Brendan. Career choice. You obviously you're broadcast major right out the gate. If your dream job would be what?
Either I like the radio a lot after doing it now. I don't know if I want to do something in there, but it would be a pretty fun job. I do like the print aspect, getting to interview people, getting to write out what I think and tell a story. I really like that, but the radio is definitely, I feel like, an option now after doing this. I've been a big fan of this internship and what it's been so far.
Awesome. Kenji, what about you? Dream job. You're going to be graduating in December.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Brendan. I'm kind of an open book, but my dream role is to be an anchor for like ESPN or one of the big time markets because I just want to be in front of the camera.
Nice. All right. Perfect. Guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around today because we've got an amazing show. Brendan, what do we have coming up after the break?
After the break, I will be talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks as well as throughout the whole show. We'll be talking about a lot of charity organizations and foundations throughout our local areas, and we'll have Connor coming up talking about Arizona Autism United.
Okay, and then Kenji, the rest of the show, we've got some amazing content. You've got some good features, right?
Yeah, I got my guest, Matt Fugita, who is a very interesting person, and you'll hear from him shortly.
Awesome. Guys, stick around. Got a great show for you. Don't go anywhere. Thanks again for tuning in to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona. We'll be back.
Ready to bring KDUS AM 1060 into your home with Alexa?
Hi, I'm Alexa.
Download the KDUS AM 1060 skill and enable. Then say, Alexa, open KDUS AM 1060.
This is where I start my day. My name is Kelsey Raggette, and I am so excited and proud to be a member of the Varsity Sports Show team. I am currently a senior at Texas Southern University, graduating this December with my degree in broadcast journalism. I pride myself on being detail-oriented, driven, and confident. My curious nature allows me to dive deep into every single story and report on all angles and deliver an unbiased, factual content. Join me every Saturday this summer right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Training Better Athletes was founded by renowned football coach Ron Sowers with the philosophy of training well-rounded young people in mind and body. TBA is the go-to for middle schoolers through the pros. Coach Sowers has worked with all sports but specializes in football offensive and defensive line skills training. Whether it's one-on-one or group training, reach out to Coach Sowers at trainingbetterAthletes.com or call him at 602-435-9064. You can't cheat the grind. Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. The Varsity Sports Show and Angry Crab Shack Tempe are proud to bring you the Varsity Sports Show Big Man of the Week. Join us every Saturday morning through August as we spotlight an offensive or defensive lineman that your coaches nominate. We will feature photos or video highlights on our social media and have your lineman join us live on Saturday morning's Varsity Sports Radio Show between 8 and 10 a.m. Coaches, reach out on Instagram or Twitter with your nomination. Brought to you by Angry Crab Shack Tempe and the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Need social information about KDUS AM 1060? Try KDUS1060.com, at KDUS AM 1060 on Twitter, and Facebook.com/KDUS AM 1060.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, everyone. My name is Brendan Sodell, and today I'm going to be talking about another local Arizona sports team, this one being the Arizona Diamondbacks. With the NHL and NBA seasons wrapping up, the MLB is the only one of the four major pro sports to still be active and in season. The Diamondbacks were not expected to do that well coming into this season, maybe being a middle-of-the-pack team, but they have shattered those expectations and might make the playoffs for the first time in multiple years. With baseball being the only major sport on right now, more and more eyes are being directed towards the sport and the Arizona Diamondbacks. This especially goes for Corbin Carroll, the Diamondbacks rookie sensation who bounced around from the number 1 and number 2 prospects in the farm system. Carroll has already taken the league by storm with his hitting and speed, but this has reached a whole nother level since June started. Since June has started, Carroll has had at least one extra base hit or stolen base in 8 out of 11 games, including 3 of those having both. Carroll is also top 5 in the NL in batting average, slugging percentage, and OPS. These types of stats are unheard of for a rookie, and he's making it look easy out there. But for how good Carroll has been, the Diamondbacks as a whole unit have been great as well. They are leading the NL in record through halfway through June. Their batting has been great this year as well. The D-backs are top 5 in batting average, strikeout percentage, contact percentage, and swing percentage. Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly are also 2 of the top 10 leaders in ERA in the NL, being 2 of the most reliable pitchers in the MLB night in and night out. The Diamondbacks' success so far this season has been a total team effort. Not many people predicted the Diamondbacks to perform this well 2 months into the season. They are leading the NL and the NL West by multiple games, and they have 2 of the leading award candidates in Rookie of the Year for Corbin Carroll and Cy Young for Zach Gallen. According to Baseball Reference, at this current moment, the Diamondbacks have a 92% chance to make the postseason. For a team that was projected around 70 to 75 wins, they're already over halfway there just 2 months into the year. There's still a long way to go, and the Dodgers are always putting up a fight, winning the division for multiple years while the D-backs haven't even been close. But this could be the turning point for the Diamondbacks and where they make a real run in the postseason. They're showing a lot of comparisons to the NBA's Sacramento Kings, a young, fun, and exciting team that took the leap and made the postseason for the first time in a while. The Diamondbacks have caught the eye of not only Arizona fans, but national baseball fans, and they have been and will continue to be one of the best storylines to follow throughout this season. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Varsity Sports Show, where I talked about the Diamondbacks and some of their big storylines heading into the rest of the season. Again, my name is Brendan Sodell, and I'll see you all next week.
You're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show at KDUS 1060. I'm Kenji Ito with my co-host Brendan Sodell. What an interesting come-up for the Diamondbacks so far this season. What do you think, Brendan?
Yeah, they haven't been winning as much lately. It's not as hot of a season as originally, but they're still on track to make the playoffs. They're still fighting to win the division, and it's still been a great season nonetheless. So.
Yeah, and I was just about to ask you, what do you think needs to happen to come out of this slump for the D-backs?
I'm hoping they bring in some new players during the trade deadline. I think they need to look into the pitching market, find a new starter or reliever that can help, because I feel like the relievers have been blowing a lot of these games lately. They could be in the lead for the division by around 5 games, I feel like, if the relievers hadn't come in and given up multiple runs.
Yeah, and you know, all the MLB news is about getting Shohei Ohtani, and me being local, I don't want him to go. So do you think the Diamondbacks do have a chance to get Shohei Ohtani?
I think they have one of the better offers with the amount of prospects they have in either on the team right now or in the farm system. But like I said, I don't think the Angels should trade Ohtani, but you never know. It's a business, and they might do it.
Yeah, and I think that's like something that people don't remember, is that any sport, whether that be the NFL, the NHL, baseball, it's all a business, and it's usually all about the money.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, with the money, it's going to take a lot to get Ohtani. I mean, with the MLB with no salary cap, it's a little bit easier, but yeah, these teams are trying to make money at the end of the day, and having Ohtani on the team is huge, and it brings in a ton of different markets to view the team, and he's the best player in the MLB, so adding that to your team just adds value.
Yeah, and we've had multiple Diamondbacks reports throughout this whole summer session. So, what do you think is like kind of the ceiling of this Diamondbacks team?
I think if they make some moves at the deadline, I think they could be one of those teams that contends in the playoffs. You have to see, obviously, if they can win the division, if they can hold that up. I believe they're a game and a half back right now, so to see what can happen. They still play the Dodgers, I believe, 6 more times, so that'll be the biggest games of the year for the Diamondbacks, and we'll just have to see what happens then. But I think if they make the playoffs and they make some moves at the deadline, they can fight for a pennant.
Yeah, and kind of like, I would say that the Diamondbacks are probably the best Arizona team, but out of the 4 major sports teams in Arizona, which one do you think is the best?
With the moves the Suns made, I mean, we have to see them on the court, but I think they'd be the best team. They've had multiple chances to win the championship and haven't done it yet, but I feel like this could be their best chance with the moves they made over the summer to upgrade the bench and getting Bradley Beal. So we'll just have to see when they step onto the court in a couple months, but yeah, it's between them or the Diamondbacks 100%.
Yeah, and you know, I'm pretty sure you're from Arizona. So have you grown up as a long life Suns, Diamondbacks, Coyotes, and Cardinals fan, or do you have different teams?
Yeah, pretty much. I've lived here my whole life and supported all those teams. It's been up and down with all of them, but yeah, those are the teams that I've stuck with so far.
Yeah, and I always have to ask this because, you know, I'm my teams are kind of all scattered all over the place. Like, I'm not like just a Southern California fan, but you know, I think it's just always very interesting to hear where people are from and what they like and what their interests are and what they want to pursue.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So, for today's show, we got plenty of local stories, local community stories
2 minutes
coming up.
Pre-record.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a pretty interesting show today.
Yeah, it was great looking into some of these organizations, and everyone else did as well. I feel like this is great to kind of step away from some of the sports, still feature some of it, obviously, but talk about these organizations.
And actually, I want to cut in here because your assignment this week, guys, every week we've tried to have some type of a theme moving forward throughout the summer. And this week, it was because we are storytellers and not just sports storytellers. There's a lot of stories to be told. We wanted to feature some of the undiscovered gems, the nonprofits out there, the charitable organizations. Kenji, what's the organization you're featuring this week?
Well, I'm not necessarily featuring an organization. I'm talking about a whole event about the OC Fair, which is one of the biggest fairs all over the country.
There you go. The Orange County Fair, so we're going to hear more about that. And then, of course, with our little time that's left, what was yours?
I will be interviewing someone from Maggie's Place, a local organization that deals with pregnant women, and then I'll also be talking about Keepers. I had a pre-recorded segment about Keepers of the Wild, a local animal organization that deals with animals that are in need of care, like lions, tigers, stuff like that, the wild animals.
Nice. Kenji, take us to our next segment. What do we have coming up?
Yeah, shortly you'll hear from Connor Ackerley out of Corona del Sol High School talking about the Arizona Autism United Center. We have plenty of local community stories upcoming, so stay tuned and go Varsity.
Clear. Hi, I'm Connor Ackerley with the Varsity Sports Show, and on this week's edition of the Varsity Sports Show, we're going to be highlighting nonprofits, charity organizations around the valley and around the whole state, really, that are just doing their part in helping people in need, helping animals in need, anything that is helping anybody, really. I mean, anything could be considered charity, but today we're talking about like organizational charities and stuff like that. And I wanted to highlight the Arizona Autism United charity, which is a charity that assists children that have autism. It is a charity that is kind of a place for children with autism to go. I will start the music right away. Help feel a little more like fit in a little more and help feel more confident in themselves. And, all in all, just kind of grow as humans in a safe place for them to be. And it helps the parents out. It helps the kids out. It's a great nonprofit, great charity organization around the valley. It has great reviews, obviously. I mean, it's a charity. It's doing a lot of great work for the city of Tempe, the city of Phoenix, the state of Arizona as a whole. So, I wanted to highlight the Arizona Autism United organization. They're doing some great work down here in the valley, and everybody really appreciates them for what they've been doing down in the valley. So thank you to the Arizona Autism United organization. For more, I'm Connor Ackerley on the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you. All right, you're live.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show at KDUS 1060. I'm Kenji Ito with Brendan Sodell. I would like to say thank you so much for your time, Connor, for that insightful report about the Arizona Autism United Center. After the break, I will be interviewing my live guest, who is a sports physical therapist from Corona, California. And don't go anywhere because it's a pretty interesting interview, and go Varsity.
Clear.
Your caddy, Ray Adams, takes you beyond the 18th hole on Saturday mornings with Great American Golf from 6 to 7 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
Hello, sports fans. This is Dick Stockton, and you are listening to Arizona's home of youth, high school, college, and you, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
What's up, everybody? My name is Austin Hepola, and I am a senior attending the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University. This summer, you will get a hands-on experience from me right here on Varsity Sports Show. My goal is to showcase the amazing sports communities scattered throughout the entire valley. As an Arizona native myself, I plan to give these communities the proper light they deserve. I look forward to delivering the most authentic and genuine stories for you all these next few months. Until next time, take it easy.
Tune in weekdays to the Sports Zone with Bob Kemp from 9 to 10 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060, KDUS1060.com, and with the KDUS 1060 app.
And we are back, and with me here today is Matt Fugita, who is a sports physical therapist out of Corona, California. How are you doing today, Matt?
Hey, not bad at all. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good myself. So, first of all, you're a sports physical therapist. You kind of work behind the scenes for a sports team. So, my first question for you is, why did you want to become a physical therapist for athletes?
Oh, man, being an athlete myself, going up through the ranks, I realized that physical therapy, and it was terrible. I'm just kidding. It was a tough stay, but as I went up through the ranks through college and pro, realized that the staff got better and better, and there was a special population that needed actual focal support. And so I was planning on going through medical school and kind of diverted to physical therapy, and I deal with more hands-on and spend time behind the scenes, and that was just, I don't know, man, intrigued me. It's been fun since.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of mentioned you have worked with like a numerous amount of sports athletes like the NFL, MLB, Olympians, and so much more. But out of all of them, who do you enjoy working with the most? And what is your favorite part of doing your job?
Oh, man, that's a loaded question. If I have any of my athletes listening, I can't answer that. It's like picking my best kid.
Yeah.
Each of them are a little near and dear to my heart. My first stint was with the MLB, working in the clubhouses. Actually, out there in Arizona, in Peoria, had a lot of fun with those guys. And I mean, right there, that I was introduced into the baseball world because again, I'm a soccer player by trade. I had to dig into those biomechanics. I had to do a lot of studying to make sure I met their demands because it's a whole new bag. Working with NFL players, I'm a private person. Wow, I can't speak this morning. Physical therapist for the Minnesota Vikings. And I mean, being out there in the clubhouse, field level, taking care of them behind the scenes, and then, watching them be able to play every single snap for a season. I mean, that warms my heart too. Our women's sports, I mean, that's a hot topic right now, right? The World Cup's going on. And they just won the ESPY for, the Bravery Award. And we have a lot of the female athletes that come through that are pros. And the amount of work they have to do in their off season to continue working compared to, the guys' sports, it's eye-opening. It gives me a different view of this where our WNBA players, NWSL players have to go overseas. So, again, I can't pick one, man. I love all of them. Boxing, I mean, each one has its own demand. And I think that's the answer to the next question is each one has its own demand and requires its own specificity and love and care into making sure they get back to what are optimal, beings, their optimal function. That makes me happy. And then to see my work on TV, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think it's like kind of like what is your type of favorite kid? But that was very insightful. But another question for you is, what is like an issue in your industry that like necessarily does not get enough attention and needs to be brought up into the world of sports?
oh man, now you're gonna put me in with my colleagues. You know, I know you have such a short segment that we're in here, but let's see. Here in California, it's a little bit different bag too, with reimbursement for fee schedules for our new therapists coming out. They're coming out 6 figures in debt, and we have our fee schedule disallows us for earning more money to be able to pay them, and so they end up leaving the state. So I mean, that's one big one that I would love for our California government to be able to navigate. Another gigantic one, at least in my field, this is a little bit nitpicky, but we have a lot of sports rehab, sports PT that's marketed upon everybody. I think it's every single clinic you see window, and then you see what the demands actually are for this special population of athletes. And a lot of even their facilities, let alone their know-how, their experience, are unable to meet those demands. And so a lot of our athletes get frustrated. And so they have to, in their off seasons, because we don't have contracts, have to kind of pick the best PT clinic, you know, with a coin flip. You know, I think that's a huge highlight, that if you're unable to work with a high-level athlete and meet the demand based on your education and your experience, like, you know, it's okay to try and want to, but find a place that'll foster that education. Our clinic is a teaching clinic, but learn the ropes before you go, because you can actually ruin someone's career, you know, and that's you know, a big deal if you say you can do it. But yeah, I mean, those are a couple little baby highlights, I guess, that are just the top of my brain.
Yeah, and kind of a super quick question, and my last question for you here today is, like, you're kind of like an independent business owner, and like you kind of represent yourself. So, like what advice would you give someone that is trying to pursue like their own pathway to kind of start something on their own?
Oh man, that's a great question, and you did your homework, didn't you? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Clinic. we're getting ready, I should say, to open a second clinic, and in the near future, in another state, opening a third clinic. And they don't teach you this stuff in school, so it's really important that hopefully you have some level of business background. I highly encourage you to do your own studying and get your MBA. If not, make sure you do enough time in the field to understand the ins and outs. Get a mentor. That's gigantic in my world. I think that's gigantic in all of the world, right? To have someone that we can look up to and feed ideas off of and back from. But because it's a big jump. It's a scary jump to go out on your own. Not only financially, my family had to go on that gamble with me. But, you know, emotionally, if you don't have a partner or something, I'm on my own. I went ahead and did the jump on my own based on my mentor's best information. And but honestly, it's to get a really good base of support, a good foundation, family, friends, mentors, and finances are gigantic. If you know, the number one killer of all businesses in the first 3 years is undercapitalization. So making sure just you have enough that you can foster yourself and any employees you have, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to say thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you coming on the Varsity Sports Show.
Hey, thank you. I'm
Yeah, absolutely. And shortly you'll hear from Austin Hepola about some of the community events in Arizona. Don't go anywhere. Some of the community events are in Phoenix, so don't go anywhere and go Varsity.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Austin Hepola of Varsity Sports. Today I'm going to list 3 upcoming community service events that will be happening around the valley. There are hundreds of events in Arizona that take place every weekend, but here are a few that can support the community around us. The first community event that I want to shine light on is a charity bar hop in Scottsdale to provide water for the people. This event is taking place Friday evening on July 28th at 50 Shades of Rose located in Scottsdale. The goal is to donate over 50,000 water bottles and to build community awareness as water is desperately needed at this time of the year. The bar hop, which is partnered with Human Services Campus, will include guest speakers, giveaways, and networking opportunities. All participating guests must be 21 or older, and for more information, search Water for the People Charity Bar Hop on Eventbrite.com. The next community service event that I want to talk about is the Arizona Sunrise Series. This series serves as a fundraiser for St. Mary's Food Bank, and it is a 5K distance race that you can participate in to assist the community. The next race is taking place at Foothills Park on Saturday, July 29th, and you can start the race anytime from 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning. Your participation in this race will help an array of programs designed to relieve hunger by way of food distribution, children's feeding programs, and community kitchens. For more information, visit raceroster.com and search AZ Sunrise Series. For those just tuning in, my name is Austin Hepola, talking about a few upcoming community events taking place around the valley. The final community service event that I want to discuss is the Stuff the Bus Back to School Drive. This event will take place on Saturday, August 6th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Stone Point Community Church in Glendale. Their goal is to support struggling local families by providing essential school supplies for the upcoming school year. You can donate backpacks and other various supplies to the Stone Point Community Church location. And for more information, go to their website, stonepointcc.org/backpack drive. That was 3 upcoming local community events that are set to take place in Arizona. Not only will going to these events be a great time to get out, but it also serves as a reminder about how important it is to lift up the community around us. I'm Austin Hepola of Varsity Sports, and until next time, take it easy.
You're live.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show at KDUS 1060. I'm Kenji Ito alongside my co-host Brendan Sodell and Vince DeLisio. What an interesting report from Austin Hepola this morning.
Yeah, it was a great report. A lot of these community events that are around the valley are doing great things, and it's great to learn about them and great to see what's going on around Arizona.
Yeah, we get a lot of people that obviously they leave for the summer, and but there's still people here, working and trying to improve the quality of life for people that are maybe down and out that need some additional services, and it's important to talk about those things, and so that people know they're out there. Different charities that have events going on and some great things going on throughout the summer. Even though the temperature's going up, a lot of those services obviously are not stopping, so they need to continue on. And I'm really happy that you guys are doing such a good job this summer and highlighting some of those. So, yeah, so we're good. We are great. I do have a question for Brendan. Brendan, Maggie's Place. Since you're going to be featuring that, what were some things maybe that enlightened you about some of the services that Maggie's Place provides, and what do they do again?
So they give direct help to pregnant women that are in need around Arizona, and I was looking into the charities and services around Arizona, and they seem like a great place. They do a lot of great work. They have a ton of events that are upcoming, and Whitney, who I'll be talking to later, she does a great job with the place, and it's a great brand and great company, and they've been doing a lot of work around the valley for years. So,
yeah. So, and Kenji, you being in Southern California, the Orange County Fair has been kind of a staple every year in and year out. Even nationally, it gets a lot of news and things. Aside from typical, carnival rides and things, what were some things that you discovered about the fair that make it fun and unique?
Well, I'm just first going to say this. I'm not a big fan of carnival rides, so I never go to the fair for that, honestly. Okay. But you will also hear in my report, but, there's awesome cover bands like Fleetwood Mac and Queen that, kind of gets the crowd going. And then there's a bunch of, exhibits and museums for, people to, learn and enjoy as well.
There's a big, well, they're not that big, but there's a cover band that's based out of Orange County, and they come out here, out to the Phoenix area once in a while. They're a Van Halen cover band. Go figure. That's my band. But the name of the band is Fan Halen with an F. Have you ever heard of them?
No, but I do have to check that out, and that's actually pretty funny that they call themselves Van Halen.
Fan Halen, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so, all right, well, Kenji, what do we have coming up after the break?
Well, after the break, you will hear from University of Arizona women's volleyball player Alayna Johnson, interviewed by our very own Brooke Earley, as we will be right back. Once again, thank you so much for that report, Austin, Hepola, and Go Varsity.
We'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Clear. Be right back, stepping away from the mic.
downloaded the KDUS AM 1060 skill for Alexa yet?
Food. Alexa is frustrated. No matter how many times do you ask, the answer is mail, chicken.
Once you're ready, say Alexa, open KDUS AM 1060 to listen to your favorite shows.
Hi, this is the Director of Community Engagement for Hospice of the Valley, Lynn Sue Cooney, and you are just not cool if you are not listening to the Varsity Sports Show, the home of youth, high school, college, and you on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
What's up, listeners? My name's Brooke, Earley, and I'm proud to be your newest summer intern for the Varsity Sports Show. As a diver on the University of Arizona team, I truly understand the ins and outs of the sports world. As someone who has lived in this community for the past few years, I'm super interested in reporting from within. I'm super excited to be a part of this team, and I hope you all enjoy this summer's content. I know I will.
We'll do what's best for the team, and we'll do what's best for you.
The Rich Eisen Show, coming to you weekdays from 3 to 5 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and KDUS1060.com.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Brooke Earley, here with University of Arizona volleyball player Alayna Johnson. Alayna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Alayna, you're going into your junior year season. How would you describe your past 2 years at Arizona?
I would say that my freshman year was definitely an adjustment. I come from Ohio, so it's very far coming to Arizona, and not being around my family was really hard. And being around girls that I've never met before was hard, but we all are like a family now, which is great. And then sophomore year, I would say I really grew into myself and really came close to my team, so that was amazing. And I'm excited to see this year, see how it plays out.
Right. I feel like volleyball is such a sport that you really need to be connected. So do you guys make sure you guys do the preseason, get to know each other before, just to make sure?
Yes. Individually, we have all of the players get together on the weekends, and we'll do fun trips to the Salt River or movie nights, stuff like that. And then for the team with the coaches, they also organize scavenger hunts and little things every month. I would say once a month we do things.
That's so cool. My team doesn't do that, so that's awesome that you guys do that. You seem to get a pretty big crowd at the home games. How would you handle the stress of trying to play the game but also perform for the crowd?
I handle stress by praying before every game, especially during the national anthem. I'll sit there and I pray during the anthem, and then I also pray when I'm off of the court. So I'm on the court for a while, and then I go off and I'll pray again, just trying to keep myself centered.
Right, to ground you. That makes total sense. It's awesome that you have something like that. So what would you say yours and your team's goals are this upcoming season?
Personally, I'm hoping to get all conference before my senior year, before I graduate. And as a team, we are definitely hoping to make it to the tournament this year
30 seconds.
And to just play our best, as we do have 6 or 7 new girls. So just adjusting to this new team. And I'm just hoping that it's a really good season for us.
Yeah, that's so cool. Especially bringing in new freshmen. You never know what's going to happen, but I feel like the more you guys play, the better you guys get at responding to each other.
Yes, I agree.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Brooke Earley from the Varsity Sports Show with Alayna Johnson from Arizona Volleyball. Thank you for listening and have a great weekend.
You're live.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show at KDUS 1060. I'm one of your co-hosts, Kenji Ito, with my other co-host, Brendan Sodell. So, what did you think? Brendan, what did you think of Brooke Earley's report with Alayna Johnson?
It was great. It's great learning more about what she does for the University of Arizona volleyball team. I knew a couple volleyball players. It's a very tough sport to learn, a very tough sport to play at a competitive level. So it's great to hear about that.
Yeah, and, it's kind of interesting that, Brooke Earley is a athlete at the University of Arizona, so I feel like that we're getting another aspect of necessarily another side of Arizona that we don't really explore that often.
Yeah. Getting that perspective from another athlete, someone who's been in those competitions for years, and then obviously, like you just said, getting it from another spot. Tucson, we don't have a lot of people that are out down south in Tucson, so it's great learning about some of those University of Arizona athletes that we don't really hear about on this show.
Yeah, and, volleyball is a very unique sport, but it seems also like a complex sport. Do you think it's like one of the hardest sports to play at the collegiate level, you think?
I feel like it for sure. There's a lot of team aspects and a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of planning. There's a ton of different plays, formations, and it's a very tough sport to learn and a very tough sport to pick up on, which is why there's not many people that go really to that collegiate or professional level in it.
Yeah, and I think it's always impressive to see people like jump so high in the air, and I think it's not called a spike. I forgot what the terminology is. I think it's called a kill, if I'm not mistaken. But it's always so impressive to see how like the whole game operates. I think it's one of the most entertaining sports in all of college sports.
Yeah,
I don't care what you say. Any sport that uses the term "kill" in a strategy it's enough for me to kind of sit back and maybe just watch and not participate in. So it's definitely a competitive sport. But anyway, good stuff. So I do have a question for you, Kenji. So in our focus on nonprofits this week, what do we have coming up next?
Well, shortly you will hear from Kelsey Raggette about the U.S. Veterans Initiative out of Houston, Texas, and they're all over the place. But this report's going to be from Houston, Texas. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Anyone.
Right, exactly, and we want to make sure and do our part to honor our veterans, and so Kelsey, actually, the timing of her report is perfect because it is places a focus on veteran services in the Houston area, and she's done an amazing job spotlighting all great things happening in Houston, not only in her community but representing Texas Southern University with the Varsity Sports Show. It's been a nice partnership that's been blossoming and featuring the fine work of students at Texas Southern. So a lot of good stuff. Folks, come on out. We are out at Ziggy's Coffee, located on the corner of Terrace and Apache, right here in the heart of Tempe, right down the street from ASU, and amidst some redevelopment that's been going on the last few years. Amazing condos, apartments, everything. I mean, you live down the street from here, Brendan, but the growth in this area has been nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, even I've been here 4 years, and the building that's sitting right behind us wasn't even there when I went to ASU. So yeah, wow. It's always changing out here.
Yeah, and to be so close to the light rail also. I mean, you literally just walk across the street and you jump on, you can go across town. So good stuff. Do you do a lot of riding on the light rail, or you have other transportation?
I used to a little bit. I haven't done it in a while though. So
okay, you do a lot of walking
around here, yeah. But I drive a lot too. I feel like
Okay, well, and having grown up in Scottsdale too, you're just a stone's throw from the campus anyway. But living down here and all that, so it'll definitely be a transition for you because you're graduating. Kenji, you're graduating in December, so a lot of changes coming up for both of you guys. A lot of exciting stuff on the horizon, some uncertainties, but definitely some good stuff. So anyway, Kenji, go ahead, pitch us to the next segment.
Well, coming up, you'll hear from Kelsey Raggette about U.S. Veterans Initiative out of Houston, Texas. Please do not go anywhere and go Varsity.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. Today I'm speaking with Delilah Oates, the Operation Manager at the United States Veteran Initiative. Delilah, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on today.
No worries. Thanks for joining us. My first question is, can you share a bit about U.S. Veterans Initiative and their mission?
U.S. Vets is one of the largest nonprofit organizations with boots on the ground for American veterans facing homelessness. We have a holistic approach where we focus on housing, mental health, career programs, and supportive services to help veterans. We have a 40 residential service site nationwide. We're in Arizona. U.S. Vets is uniquely positioned to help veterans and their families successfully transition to civilian life. We've been here in the Houston area since 1997, and we serve about 300 veterans a day in the greater Houston area.
Wow, that is amazing, Delilah. And it's also a really cool fact because this show is based out of Phoenix, Arizona. So all of our Arizona viewers, that's a really cool fun fact about U.S. veterans. That's awesome. Okay, my next question is, what made you choose to work with the homeless veterans?
I just always had a passion with working with the homeless population. I've been working with the homeless population for about 15 years now. I started just working with overall homeless, and my passion just grew. I seen this specialized population of veterans, and I have veterans in my family, and I seen this population fall into homelessness. I seen they're needing more connected, not really getting the support. So that's how I end up transitioning to working directly with the specialized population veterans.
That's awesome. And it's definitely a passion of yours, which is a good thing to have in a career. And which leads to my next question is, what are some of the biggest challenges facing veterans, and what are some people like in the community not aware of in regards to their challenges?
You'll really be surprised. There are so many veterans who are unaware of what services and resources are available to them. As many veterans have no idea of support. They don't have any idea of benefits they can get. They're not connected with any VA benefits. They're not connected with any military veteran services agencies. So it's really a disconnect of finding out about the services and resources. A lot of times people simply don't know about us. So we try to always make sure we're pushing awareness out there, pushing resources, and we have an amazing outreach team that goes out to educate the veterans like, hey, it's services and help available to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Delilah. Is there a website where viewers can tune in to get more information?
Yes, you can check us out at usvets.org, location/Houston. You can reach out to our development and communication manager there, Danielle Richardson, and she'll give you all the information about volunteers, opportunities, and ways to donate.
Thank you so much, Delilah, for joining us on the show. I'm Kelsey Raggette with the Varsity Sports Show, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Kelsey.
No problem.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KDUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization. The Varsity Sports Show is once again proud to partner with Grand Canyon University Club Sports in 2023 and 24. Join us in our coverage of GCU Club Sports on Saturday's Varsity Sports Show and the rest of the week. We'll cover hockey, soccer, baseball, rugby, lacrosse, and more. The Lopes are back on the Varsity Sports Show.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
It's time for the Varsity Sports Show Big Man of the Week. Brought to you by the Angry Crab Shack Tempe.
You're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince Delisio live, joined by my co-hosts today, Brendan Sodell and Kenji Ito. Brendan sitting right across from me here at Ziggy's Coffee in Tempe on the corner of Apache and Terrace. And Kenji, of course, at home in Orange County, California, Costa Mesa to be exact. And we're joined, we've been doing this award every week, and it's a very unique award. Brendan will talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. But it is the Angry Crab Shack Tempe Training Better Athletes Big Man of the Week, honoring, you know, so much attention this summer has been focused on off-season 7-on-7, the skills players in football, but we wanted to honor the bigs, the big guys out there, and so we have been recognizing a special Big Man of the Week each week this summer, and this week we have joining us Mr. Carlos Pedregon from Goldwater High School. He's a Bulldog. Carlos, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show, and congratulations on being our Big Man of the Week.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? How's this summer going for you?
Honestly, it's been really good and busy. We've had a lot of one-on-ones everywhere. We've been going to a lot of competitions, and it's been really fun. Our whole O-line, D-line, we've been getting we've been really developing really good. So I'd say this summer was a very good success.
And Carlos, like Vince just mentioned, this is a very exclusive award. How does it feel to be nominated for this award by your coach, Frank Lout? This is a very exclusive award, and it's not like the fans nominated you, the school nominated you. Your coach specifically nominated you. How does it feel to win this award for the week?
I feel really honored, and I feel like that my coach trusted me to be very good, and I just feel honored.
Sweet. So you guys went 6-4 last year. What do you see for the upcoming season to improve on that record and get back to the top?
I feel like it's just confidence. Like, I know that the schedule that we have, it's really competing. But if we just stay confident and we just play as a team, I think we'll be really good this year.
Sweet. And you specifically, you're an offensive lineman. Can you talk a little bit about that line group and talk about what you guys do on a daily basis to get better and what you guys are going to plan on for this season?
So what we're doing is, we practice our plays every day, and we're very good with each other. We communicate with each other. If something goes wrong, we're talking about it every time. So we're very close. We've been playing for, this is gonna be our second, third year now. So we just communicate, and we look forward to the next step. So we're just
cool. What other specialties do you see with the team? What other groups do you feel are the base of the team, and what you guys kind of rely on to get you through each and every game?
I feel like it's our offensive line, because we're a very heavy run team. So without us, we would not get any points, any yards, anything like that.
And I know you were the one that won the Big Man of the Week, but you got any other shout-outs for your teammates that you want to give, or who else is putting in the work over the summer and who's getting ready for that season?
Oh, I think I'll probably shout out my whole team, because this whole summer everyone has been working hard and has been getting ready for the season. So I'd like to shout out my whole team.
You want to jump in?
Talk a little bit about that work this summer that you guys have been doing, Carlos. And I know, I've known Coach Lout for, going on a really long time, since he was at Alhambra High School. And obviously we know that his system, his scheme, he is run heavy. He will chew up the clock even before a team will get a chance at having an offensive drive. What kind of pressure does that put on you guys, as an offensive line group?
I don't think it really puts any pressure on us, because we like to run, because we go everywhere, and versus from passing the ball where we just have to stay there and block.
Yeah. And in terms of your schedule, you guys don't play in a slouch league. I mean, you've got a pretty brutal schedule this coming season, and after finishing 6-4 last year, how do you feel about your prospects this season?
I think I love competing, so it's a very competitive schedule. So I'm just looking forward to it, and I'm ready just to play football. It's my last year. Go out today.
I know that Brendan has been really interested. He's been doing a good job of telling some unique stories for us this year, and he's been really interested to get to know you, individually, what your interests are academically, beyond high school. Let's say both with football, without football, because someday. And I think Sylvester Stallone in one of the Rocky movies said it best. He said, time is undefeated. So someday things that we're doing now, we've got to transition and do something else. So let's say you're done playing football. What are you going to be doing with yourself? What do you want to be?
I have a couple options of what I want to be, like a top 3. So it's either go into the fire department, going to be a realtor, or going to financial, somewhere in that department.
Nice. Or you can do all 3. People have a lot of side gigs these days, so that's awesome. How long have you been playing football?
I've been playing football since I was 6 years old.
No kidding. Wow. And do you have someone that's been influential in your life? Like you can say, well, this person was the one that first introduced me to this, and they've been encouraging me along the way.
My grandfather. He
okay.
Every step, he used to go to every game.
Nice. And he's still kind of there with you and supporting you?
Unfortunately, he did pass in 2020. But I know he's watching down. So.
Awesome. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was our big man of the week, Mr. Carlos Pedregon out of Goldwater High School. Thank you so much to Coach Frank Lout, your head coach, for nominating Carlos. And we look forward to continuing this feature throughout what little time remains in the summer. So, Carlos, good luck this season. We're going to be watching you, big man. And thanks so much for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right.
Okay, so that was great job on that, and you learn a lot every week talking to these guys, and offensive linemen in particular, offensive defensive linemen, they're very selfless because they play. They're not out there on an island. They're playing within a group, and so you're used to lifting up the guys around you and being lifted by those guys. And so Carlos is a fine leader for his program out at Goldwater. And Coach Lout, thank you so much for nominating Carlos. And we want to make sure and put it out there. Any of you head coaches that have linemen that you want to recommend, this is a very unique honor because it comes from the head coaches. So get those guys, promote them, send us their names, and we'll make sure and feature them in upcoming shows. So thanks so much. So, Brendan, what do we have coming up next?
Coming up next, we have Connor talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks, the one local pro sports team that is still in session right now. So he'll be discussing their upcoming schedule and what they have upcoming for the remaining couple weeks.
Take it away, Aaron.
Clear.
Hi, I'm Connor Ackerley with the Varsity Sports Show, and today I'm talking about the D-backs and the trade deadline coming up. The trade deadline is arriving fast. It's coming August 1st at 3 p.m.
2.5 minutes.
I believe 3 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. But it's arriving fast. About a week and a half left until the trade deadline. The Diamondbacks sitting at 54 and 42, I believe, right now. Just took 2 off the Braves. They're playing for a sweep today. Obviously, when this is aired on Saturday, we'll see if they sweep or not. Hopefully they do. They got Zach Gallen on the mound today. But right now they're looking like buyers. They're looking like they have an opportunity to make a playoff push. The NL West is weaker this year. The NL West kind of as a whole, or not the NL West, the NL in general is kind of as a whole is kind of weaker this year, other than the Atlanta Braves, who looked unbeatable before this series. But I feel like this series has definitely been a turning point in whether the Sun or the D-backs are going to be buyers or sellers. They obviously wouldn't. I don't think they'd be sellers really, because they already got a good young core. They don't want to give that away. They would probably. It would be between getting a young, controllable arm and getting, a really high-powered arm that maybe they can't control in the long term, but he can help them with a good playoff run. Because the main need right now is starting pitching. Zach Davies just got sent to the 15-day IL. Obviously, Merrill Kelly is coming back soon. They said hopefully by the St. Louis Cardinals series he can come back. Zach Gallen, the A's, has been steady Eddie. Ryan Nelson had a great start yesterday against the Braves. He went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, and then Tommy Henry is kind of that third reliever. He's kind of, or not reliever, the starter. He's kind of molding into that role, but we'll see. Going into the deadline, I think they're going to be buyers. I think they've got a lot of pieces to trade with, a lot of good pitching targets on the market this year, so it should be good, and I'll update you guys after the trade deadline on what moves they did, and hopefully give them a grade for the trade deadline. For more on that, I'm Connor Ackerley with the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you for listening.
You're live.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, everyone. I am here with my 2 co-hosts, Vince Delisio and Kenji Ito, out in Southern California.
2 minutes.
Great report by Connor right there on the Diamondbacks. Me and Kenji talked about that a little bit ago. Vince, what are your thoughts on the Diamondbacks from this season so far?
I have to admit, I'm one of the few that is just not a big baseball guy. I get lost in the numbers and the stats. I've never really been a stats person when it comes to baseball and the whole free agency thing. I mean, there are so many tiers in baseball. Like, we're talking, you got single A, double A, triple A, fall league, rookie league, and before anybody even makes it up to the majors. And it is just it is amazing what goes into putting a product on the field. I mean, you see someone out there playing, what did they go through to get there? And now you get those few that sign a contract and they're good enough that from day one they're out there. But it takes a long time, and it's maddening for me because they could be on the roster one day and the next day they're gone playing in, Mexico or the Dominican Republic or something. But anyway, that's my 2 cents when it comes to baseball. Yeah. I wish I could be a better fan. It's just it takes a lot.
Yeah, I just got into baseball a couple of years ago, but I agree. There's a lot of numbers, and some of these stories from these people are insane to see what they've gone through just to make it to the major league. So coming up after the break that we have coming now, we have 2 great segments. Vince had us look into a lot of community projects, and we have 2 of those segments coming up next.
20.
The Resilience Project in Tucson, reported by Brooke Earley, and Jazz Ed in Houston, reported by Kelsey Raggette. These will be 2 great
10.
segments. You won't want to miss them.
We'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere.
I stumbled my words.
That's all right.
I stumbled.
Clear.
James Out West brings NFL, NBA, MLB, and local sports talk to you Monday night starting at 7 on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Hi, this is Rob Maggs, Vince's life coach and surfing coach to the Beach Bum Beal. You're listening live to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS.
The Varsity Sports Show and Angry Crab Shack Tempe are proud to bring you the Varsity Sports Show Big Man of the Week. Join us every Saturday morning through August as we spotlight an offensive or defensive lineman that your coaches nominate. We will feature photos or video highlights on our social media and have your lineman join us live on Saturday morning's Varsity Sports Radio Show between 8 and 10 a.m. Coaches, reach out on Instagram or Twitter with your nomination. Brought to you by Angry Crab Shack Tempe and the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
Carving out time in your afternoon for the Doug Gottlieb Show right here on KDUS AM 1060, 100.7 HD2, and KDUS1060.com. Weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Brooke Earley, and today I want to shed some light on an organization that has caught my attention. This organization is called the Resilience Project, which is located here in Tucson, Arizona, and is a place for sexual assault survivors to come and heal. This place is not only there to help people work through their trauma, but also celebrate the fact that there are milestones that people have surpassed while at this healing center. As stated on their website, they view each individual as a ripple. The goal is for survivors to heal and then help heal others. They have activities like quilting circles, yoga healing, art and music therapy groups, permaculture projects, listening circles on survival care, and celebration circles. This company has many different aids to help someone in need, no matter their financial capacity. Their website is easy to use and tells all about their programs, advisors, and even gives you facts about sexual assault and terms around it, so you're well informed to make your decision to join their program or not. As something to look for in the community, you can look around Tucson and you'll probably see some of the survivors' paintings. If this is a place that you would want to explore, you can look up the website, The Resilience Project, and there's a tab to sign yourself up. If this is a project you would like to donate to, you too can go to their website and give money under the Donate tab. This amazing project has done so much to help survivors, and I'm happy that I'm able to make it more known. My name is Brooke Earley here on the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you for listening, and have a great weekend.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Kelsey Raggette, and today I am here to showcase a charitable organization in Houston, Texas that is changing lives through music. Jazz Education, Inc. has been making an impact in so many lives through the form of music since 1970. The mission of Jazz Education, Inc. is to provide a unique cultural experience that exposes Houstonians and visitors to jazz music, as well as help preserve the art of jazz. This organization actively works to fill a void within music education among underdeserved youth and has raised nearly $5 million for this purpose. For those just tuning in, my name is Kelsey Raggette with the Varsity Sports Show, showcasing Jazz Education, Inc., a charitable organization bettering lives through the form of jazz music. Jazz Education, Inc. promotes positive community impact through several programs, ranging from a 5-week intensive summer camp for young musicians to an annual international jazz
Coming
festival
back in
that
20
features
seconds.
artists from around the world. Donations, sponsors, and volunteers are always appreciated. For those interested in donating or volunteering with Jazz Education Inc., please visit jazzeducation.org. Once again, my name is Kelsey Raggette, here with the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you for listening and have a great weekend.
You're live.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, everyone. I am Brendan Sodell, here with my two co-hosts, Vince Delicio and Kenji Ito. We just had two great segments on two community outreach programs, not in Phoenix area, but in two different areas, one in Arizona and one in Texas. The Resilience Project down in Tucson and Jazz Ed down in Houston, Texas. And these were two great organizations. The Resilience Project helps with sexual assault victims, which is sadly something we hear too much about. And Jazz Ed helps with striving young musicians who need that help. And that was a great organization to listen to. Vince, what did you think about that?
Well, I agree. I mean, we talk about sadness and triumph and good solid organizations, and obviously the sexual assault is something that happens in every community and not just. It happens in our own backyard, for gosh sakes. And so an organization like Resilience Project that offers financial services and for survivors of sexual assault throughout southern Arizona, I mean, it's an amazing organization that helps others and gets people back on the right foot, providing resources, services, mental health assistance and financial assistance, and they're out there. It's resilience-project.com. And then we talk about music education, and with the schools in taxes continually trying to be cut, services for the schools. The first thing on the chopping block in every school district are extracurriculars. Not only athletics, different athletic programs, but also the arts. Are not immune to such cuts, and music is at the at the top of that list many times. And so having an organization in the Houston, Texas area, such as Jazz Ed, to work with students and provide those outlets, and it really talks. They say that music helps to enhance and to promote creativity in students, and in terms of grades and things like that, it helps to enhance other academic programs in working with students. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents and services that are out there. Nice job in reporting. Brooke Earley down in southern Arizona and Kelsey Raggette out in Houston on those two fine organizations. What do we have coming up?
Coming up, we have a big segment coming up. Austin Hepola will be talking about the new Glendale Community College women's basketball coach, Ernest Shand. This will be a great story coming up next on the Varsity Sports Show.
Ernest, Coach Shand has a pretty good pedigree. He's an NAIA guy, Division II guy. He's worked back east, and he comes out here. He's been out here for a couple of years, but finally gets this opportunity out at Glendale. I think it's definitely going to enhance a couple things for Glendale basketball. It's going to give them a lot of national attention. It's going to help their recruiting because he's got that background, that 4-year university background at Division II NAIA, and really help to be a destination for a lot of young people that need that chance at the junior college level, and to help them move on from there. So anyway, take it away, Aaron.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Varsity Sports. My name is Austin Hepola, and today I am joined by the recently hired Glendale Community College women's basketball head coach, Ernest Shand. Coach Shand, how are you doing today, sir?
Yes.
I'm doing well, Austin. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And, like I said, you were recently hired for, the GCC women's basketball head coach position. Obviously, it's safe to assume you might be on cloud 9 right now. What were your initial reactions to being hired on as the head coach for GCC?
Honestly, man, I started smiling just hearing you say it again. It really has been a big blessing. I've been coaching 22 years now across all sorts of levels and all across the country. And to get my first college coaching position here in Arizona, where, I don't have to move away from my kids or family, things like that, it's been a big blessing. Everyone here at Glendale's been very welcoming. You know, our girls that are returning and even some that are incoming, been working hard in the gym when we're able to get in. I really, if you catch me complaining, man, any of these days, you know, something's wrong. I've literally got nothing to complain about.
It's a great mindset to have. And like you mentioned, you've been coaching for, 22 years now. What made you want to become a basketball head coach in your life? And when did you really make that decision?
Man, part of that, and it'll sound cliche, but I feel like the decision was made for me. You know, some people, I'm one of those people that believe that, you're called to serve. And I get to do that through coaching basketball. And it started with one of the biggest influences in my life. He was the head coach at my high school back in Brooklyn, where I'm from. His name is Ron Vernon. And he has been a mentor to me and father figure to me since I was roughly 15 years old. One of the first, men in my family, outside of my family, that I really found love and respect and admiration for. And I've called him every Father's Day for the last 20 plus years. And then I also call his wife every Mother's Day for the last 15 plus years. Just seeing how much he sacrificed for all the young men that he was in lead of, and how it impacted them, and specifically, obviously, how it impacted me and really got me back on, I would say, at a time in my life when I really needed a lot of guidance, it came from him. And he helped me find coaching. It was always my goal to go back to the high school to help him coach and take over for him. But he also inspired me to go and be bigger and do bigger things. And I think that's why we're here right now. And he was maybe, I think, the second or third person I called when I officially got the job at Glendale.
A great story. And it's crazy how, one relationship can blossom into something, much more, much more greater in the grand scheme of things. I read that you were born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. What are the major differences between Brooklyn and Arizona basketball?
I would say over the years, the biggest difference between, New York City basketball, Brooklyn basketball, and Arizona basketball, I think in New York City, kids grow up playing basketball. As far back as I can remember, we just played basketball from sun up to sundown. And I think in Arizona, kids are raised to have a lot more diversity in what they are able to do for extracurricular activities. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, I think that's probably arguably the biggest difference. Things like athleticism and skill, those things balance out, right? If you put the work in, right? But I think being raised, just playing basketball, pretty much your whole life in a park or competing against older guys, things like that, can give you a bit of a competitive edge. Although I will say I'm super proud of the growth of Arizona basketball since I moved here in 2006 to see where we're at right now on both the men's and women's side, especially, through things like Section 7, which is just a huge landscape, huge platform now for kids to get recruited. It's been amazing, and I'm grateful to be a small part of it.
Yeah, no doubt. The growth of Arizona basketball has just become huge, especially, in my teenage life, from when I was in high school to now. I mean, it's taken really just that next level. And I got one more for you, Coach. What can everybody expect out of Coach Shand in his first season of coaching at GCC women's basketball?
Man, what can you expect of me? Really, I just commit to our players, man. I've been longing to be a head coach simply because it puts me in a position to help others. Yeah, I've done that as an assistant coach, at various places, but it's different when you're the head coach and you get all of the blame. You take on all the blame for when things, don't go well. And then when things are going well, you dish the credit to who deserves it, the players. They're the ones out there scoring baskets and running sprints and doing everything that we ask them to do. And again, we've gotten in the gym maybe 4 or 5 times, just for some skill development stuff, kind of informal.
Coming back in about 30 seconds, and you'll have a minute.
They've worked hard for me so far.
It's going to be exciting, no doubt. GCC women's basketball head coach Ernest Shand. Coach Shand, I want to thank you for your time. My name is Austin Hepola of Varsity Sports Show. And yeah, Coach, again, thank you for your time and best of luck this season.
Thank you so much, Austin. I really appreciate you and look forward to the day that we get to have you over at a game.
Yeah, you have a nice day, Coach. Thank you.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, everyone. I am Brendan Sodell here with my 2 co-hosts, Kenji Ito and Vince Delicio. That was a great report right there from Austin, talking about the new Glendale Community College women's basketball head coach, Ernest Shand. He had a great story and is looking to bring great things to the program. Kenji, I wanted to ask you, what is the community college scene and the regional basketball scene like in Southern California?
Honestly, it's not that big here compared to Arizona. So it was actually interesting to hear Ernest Shan's story, I think community baseball is actually bigger.
That's interesting. Coming up next, I will be having my live interview. This is with Whitney Thistle. She is the vice president of the philanthropy over at Maggie's Place, a local charity that does work with pregnant women that need help and are victims of assault and stuff like that. They are in need of this help.
We'll be right back.
I did it
You're
again.
fine.
I keep doing it. I keep doing it every time.
SB Nation Radio is now Sports Map Radio, keeping sports content fresh and fun. Join us right here on KDUS AM 1060.
This is Carefree Arizona Mayor John Crane. When I look for political advice, I don't call Vince. But when I need a good laugh to start my weekend, I listen to Varsity Sports Show. Still Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you on AM 1060 KDUS.
This is Coach Lucas Ramirez, and you are listening to the home of the Saguaro Sabercats, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
Hey there, my name is
Okay,
Connor
will you give that to me one more time?
I am a senior at Coronado del Sol High School where I play quarterback. I'm excited to bring you the content you want to hear and see over this summer, whether it be interviews, features, or co-hosting a show.
Okay, I'm going to give, I'll try that number.
An exclusive look at the high school offseason and how to navigate it. Stay tuned for all that and more. It'll be a behind-the-scenes look of the hard work that gets put in the summer to show you what gets put in the fall, winter, and spring. So tune into the Varsity Sports Show.
Listener rewards for you with the KDUS 1060 app. Download today to hear all of the national and local shows you love. That's the KDUS 1060 app.
You're live.
The Varsity Sports Show, everyone. I am Brendan Sodell, here with my two co-hosts, Vince Felicio and Kenji Ito. Coming up right now, I will be having my live interview with Whitney Thistle. She is the Vice President of Philanthropy over at Maggie's Place. Their mission is to provide safe housing and a nurturing community for homeless pregnant women in need. This is a great organization. They're doing great things around the community, and it's going to be a great interview. So she will be coming on live in just a minute
Whitney's
to be talking about
She's all set.
the organization, and she'll be on in just a few minutes.
And she's actually there. So good morning, Whitney. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Good morning. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Whitney. My name is Brendan Sodell. Could you talk a little bit about Maggie's Place and what you personally do for the organization?
Sure. So Maggie's Place provides housing for women who are pregnant and experiencing homelessness in the valley. So we have 5 homes. Moms come to us at any point that they're pregnant, and they're welcomed into a loving home full of course, resources and their own bedroom. And we really start working with mom on resource acquisition and building up what she wants her life after Maggie's Place to be. We have our moms, they're able to have their babies with us for up to a year after baby's born. So it's a long-term shelter for our moms. I have the pleasure of serving as the Vice President of Philanthropy. So my job is really to raise resources and awareness and really just to develop relationships with the community, with individuals and funders, clubs and groups, schools, churches, all of that, to really connect them with our moms and our work to support us.
It's really interesting. And could you talk a little bit about, you had mentioned to me over the phone, the expansion projects that you guys are planning on going through. I looked on your website, and you guys have multiple homes all throughout the valley, not just in Phoenix, and you guys have been at this for years. It says 23 years, which is longer than I've been alive. So could you go into that, go into those expansion projects and what your plans are for the future of Maggie's Place?
Sure, yeah. So like you mentioned, our first home opened our doors on Mother's Day of 2000, so we've been around for 23 years.
Our current homes are in Mesa, Tempe, Phoenix, and we now have 2 in Glendale. So the Gabriel House will open August 15th for more moms. And then on our Hannah property, we are building a back bunk house for more moms. So that'll open up most likely in October. And then we're groundbreaking in September. So we have a Family Success Center, 30th Street and Indian School. So we have our moms who currently live in our homes who spend the night every night in a Maggie's Place home. But we also have almost 1,200 women who at one point lived in a Maggie's Place home, had a Maggie's Place baby, and still come back to us at the Family Success Center for services, support groups, parties, and things like that. So in September, we will be breaking ground on that property and really building more spaces for meetings and counseling and staff and all of that. So that'll happen in September.
That's really interesting. And if someone was in need of this care, how would they be able to get in contact with you guys, and how would they be able to reach out to get what they need at Maggie's Place?
Great question. So the entire process starts with calling our intake line. We ask that mom calls herself, not having another agency or family member call for her. So anybody that needs our services just calls that intake line, and we'll go through the process of our qualifications. The qualifications are 18 or older, proof of pregnancy, and willing to live in community, because it is 6 or 7 moms who live in each of our homes.
And if people listening or anyone else were to want to help or help out, donate and help out with you guys, what could they do? Because I know there's a tab on your website, but is there anything else they could do besides going on there? Or?
Sure. Well, I would ask people to think what makes them feel good when they help. So whether it's hosting a drive and pulling together essential hygiene items for our moms, or maybe you want to give monetarily to support an event. We also have the holidays come up. We spend a lot of resources pulling our big Maggie's Place community together. So we often have a lot of big parties in the holidays. So we have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. So volunteer in an event or help gather costumes. There's tons of ways. The closest way that people can support us is by volunteering within our homes and at our Family Success Center.
Whitney, Vince here. I'm impressed. I'm just kind of perusing your website, and I noticed that, I'm a big consignment store guy, because I find, some gems at different stores and things. And I noticed that you have a thrift store also on McDowell Road. If people want to donate items also for the store, and are you able to draw a lot of funding sources from the sale of those items to help fund your operations as well?
Great question. Thank you for bringing that up. So yes, Maggie's Thrift is located at 16th Street in McDowell. It's a boutique-style thrift store with tons of gems, and it serves as a home base for all of our donations. So any community members who want to donate clothing or household items, kitchenware items, all of those, first we go through those items to pull what we need for our moms in our homes, and then the rest does go to benefit the programs of Maggie's Place when they're sold at the thrift store.
And then, of course, obviously, with being able to donate, what are some other events in the community? Do you have other events that people can be a part of to help out at, that even a certain radio show could do a live broadcast from sometime?
Definitely. Actually, I have the best opportunity for y'all on Wednesday, November, I think it's the 29th. We're having Chef Maggie's Sleigh. So it's a community event in the evening where we ask for all of our community partners to bring all of the holiday items that they'll be gathering over the next couple of months, and really have, hot cocoa, great company, and still Maggie's Sleigh to provide the holidays for our families.
And I got one more question for myself. What you had mentioned the one house being built in August and the one going through the renovations right now. What do you see for the future of Maggie's Place coming in the upcoming years? Because you guys have been around for so long now, and you guys are continuing to evolve. What do you see will continue to happen, and what do you want, or what do you see for the vision of the future of Maggie's Place?
Our vision is really to be the premier care provider for women who are homeless and pregnant. The need is not going down, as you all know. If you watch the news in Arizona, we get about 50 calls a week, unique calls of moms who we could serve, but we are at capacity. So with our funders and with our board, really looking at our strategic planning for the next 3 to 5 years, and addressing that need and continuing to put in places where more moms get more housing.
Perfect. Whitney, I really appreciate the time and getting to learn more about what you do and learn more about Maggie's Place. You can look at the website maggiesplace.org, contact them at 602-262-5555, or the intake specialist 602-246-3724. Whitney, thank you again, and have a great rest of your day.
You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
Yep. And coming up next on the Varsity Sports Show, we'll be having Kenji Ito, the other live broadcaster, talking about the OC Fair out down in California. A great...
My name is Kenji Ito, and welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. Out of all the cities in Orange County, California, Costa Mesa is the place to be from now to August 13th. You may ask, what happens during that time frame? And well, it is the annual Orange County Fair. The Orange County Fair has existed for 133 years, and it still remains to be a staple for California residents to attend to.
You'll have about
there are
2.5
plenty of
minutes.
activities to do at the OC Fair for all ages. If you are just tuning in, my name is Kenji Ito with the Varsity Sports Show, talking about the Orange County Fair. Of course, there is an abundance of carnival rides, mini games, and food, like ice cream on top of cotton candy, giant turkey legs, and almost anything fried. Although these all sound like fun, these 3 activities are not the best part. There are several events, like watching all Alaskan pig races, monster truck exhibitions, and cover bands, which are usually filled with people and the most popular. If you are into 70s and 80s rock music, you will enjoy these cover bands as they usually perform songs from Fleetwood Mac and Queen. There's also the Centennial Farm and plenty of historic exhibits for the community to learn and enjoy. Every summer in Orange County, California, the OC Fair is one of the most enjoyable events of the year. To find out more information, check out their website at ocfair.com, and if you're in the area, come check it out.
Coming back in about 10 seconds.
And from the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Kenji Ito.
You're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, everyone. This is Brendan Sodell, along with Vince Felicio and Kenji Ito. We just had that great segment from Kenji talking about the Orange County Fair, and that fair sounded really interesting. There was a ton of great activities that I hadn't seen at the fairs out here that maybe I would want to check out someday, like the Alaskan pig races. That was.
Do they allow betting on that, Kenji? That interests me. I want to bet on some pig racing.
No, they do not, but they are the tiniest pigs I have ever seen in my entire life, and like they're adorable. So like I had to include it in my recording. So yeah,
that's good stuff. I know you're not a big ride guy, but you mentioned the cover bands, the 70s, 80s music. That's got to draw a pretty interesting crowd, and then of course some of the food. What are examples of some of the food they serve at the fair?
Well, there's like giant turkey legs, like the ones that you get at Disneyland. There would be like ice cream on top of cotton candy.
2 minutes.
Like fried Oreos. There's almost like anything. I mean, it's like like sometimes too much food.
Yeah, it's a challenge. They got the bacon wrapped turkey legs. They even do it here at the fair in Arizona. But anyway, so that's awesome. What do we have coming up, Brendan?
Coming right up, we have my other report on another charitable organization. This is Keepers of the Wild. They do a lot of work down south in Arizona, working with the wild animals that obviously can't be a house pet, like a lion, a panda, a bear, stuff like that. And they do great work. The owner of it has been doing work with animals for over 25 years now.
How did you find these guys?
I was just looking online at organizations that had events going on, and they were one that caught my eye. I looked into the website, and they had a great story. The owner, I'll talk about it in this segment. He used to be one of like the Vegas people that would work with tigers and stuff on stage, and thought these animals need a better life than sitting in a cage for 15 hours a day just to come out for 20 minutes. So he wanted to do something great with these animals and was able to do it in Arizona, and now has around 150-acre area for these animals to work with, and care for every day.
All right, you guys come back. Final segment of the show here on the Varsity Sports Show. We will hear about Keepers of the Wild here on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Vince and Brendan out at Ziggy's Coffee, Apache and Terrace in Tempe. Kenji is in Southern California. We'll be back.
Have you downloaded the KDUS 1060 app yet? Download today and get all of your favorite local and national shows right on your phone.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hi, my name is Michael Beal from Costa Mesa, California, and I'm the only person other than Vince that got the honor of wearing his high school Letterman jacket. And you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
I'll turn those picks into gold.
Wall-to-wall NFL coverage and the biggest stories coming to you from 3 to 5 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show here on KDUS AM 1060 and KDUS1060.com.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, everyone. I am Brendan Sodell. Today, I will be looking at something a little bit different in Arizona. This is a nonprofit organization. Nonprofits are a huge part of this world and getting people the help that they need when they cannot get it done themselves or afford to get that help done themselves. Nonprofits can range from anything from helping the sick, helping the needy, and to the one where I'm looking at today, helping animals. The organization I will be looking at today is Keepers of the Wild Nature Park, an accredited nonprofit wildlife sanctuary that has been saving animals' lives since 1995, almost 30 years. All of these animals are either brought in by the courts or donated to the facilities where the other facilities cannot take care of the animal. All animals will be instantly cared for and put in the correct type of setting, a large natural outdoor habitat that is acres and acres in size and are not being forced to do anything like a cage. The main goal for this facility is giving the animals the care that they need where normal humans cannot if they are living in a house or a cage or traveling. Animals like this should not have to live up like that, and these animals are getting the best care that they could possibly ask for in this facility. The Santiago Animal Clinic and Education Center is also on standby. If any animal is in need of any help, they will immediately be there to assist. Like I mentioned earlier, this mission started 30 years ago. The founder of the company, Jonathan Kraft, used to be a Vegas illusionist and used animals like tigers and lions in his tricks. But he didn't like the aspects that the animals would be in cages for hours and hours of a day just to go onto a stage for 15 minutes. In 1995, Jonathan put his Vegas acts on hold and was able to look into the acts of rescuing and how to care for these animals. He not only wanted better homes for his animals, but to educate the whole world on how to care for these types of animals that should not be pets. Jonathan went from having this idea to over 20 years later having a 175-acre park with over 140 animals all across the park. The park offers guided tours like safaris for these animals and can walk around like a zoo. They are not able to interact with the animals as they are captive and need to be under care. Donations can be accepted at the park or, for those not local, online on their website. Keepers of the Wild have been protecting animals like this for over 30 years and educating the general public on the do's and don'ts with handling these creatures. They are a great foundation that has expanded from nothing into something huge, and they are only growing and accepting more and more animals through every year. To look more into their website, visit keepersofthewild.org. Thank you all for listening for this episode of the Varsity Sports Show, where I looked into a local nonprofit organization, Keepers of the Wild, and what they are doing to help preserve animal wildlife in Arizona. This has been Brendan Sodell, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their weekend.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio, Brendan Sodell out at Ziggy's Coffee in Tempe off of Terrace and Apache. Of course, Kenji Ito, our field correspondent out in Orange County, California, Costa Mesa to be exact. You know, Brendan, great report. This was an interesting nonprofit because I looked up where they're at on the map. They're in an unincorporated part of Arizona called Valentine, and it's north of Interstate 40, south of the Grand Canyon, kind of in a real cool area that's right on Route 66, historic Route 66. So it's definitely something to see and to marvel in. And you know, they call them wild animals for a reason. I mean, you've heard of some situations where some of these Vegas acts, you know, I think of Siegfried and Roy, where one of them got attacked, and you know, these guys can be unpredictable, but it's nice that there's a sanctuary for them and a place and for people to go see and you know, even potentially help donate goods and services to keep the cause going. So. Like I'd asked you before, you found him just perusing the net. Is this a place that maybe you'll go visit one day?
Yeah, I definitely want to go out there, and I probably had the chance to if I looked at this sooner because I was just driving up to Vegas last 2 weeks ago, so I maybe could have passed by it or taken a little detour to go check it out, but it's something maybe next time I'm driving up that way I would want to check out because it seems like a great place and they're doing great things for these animals, like you just said. The shows are entertaining, but these animals can't really be held in cages like that, and they're too unpredictable. You never know what will happen on that stage. So
yeah, the website for the organization is keepersofthewild.org. That's keepersofthewild.org, and there's a donate button on their page. They do different types of sponsorships. They have what's called a park bench sponsorship, so assuming that you donate some funds and they put your name on a bench, and that's kind of cool, and you can go and check that out. And you can also volunteer. So if you are brave enough and you want to go and check it out and volunteer, they've got a volunteer page where you can list the days and the amount of time that your availability allows. You can go up there and maybe make a day of it and check it out and go help out a great cause and see what and also they have weddings and parties hosted at this place, so that's kind of cool.
That would be a really interesting place to have your wedding.
Get married at Keepers of the Wild among the tigers and lions. So good stuff. All in all, I'm really pleased with with some of the organizations that were presented today. I mean, I think everybody did a great job and some great causes and putting a spotlight, not just the traditional big name, nonprofits out there, but nice job. Kudos to our team for really uncovering some hidden organizations and bringing them to light for our audience. So good job. I want to ask both of you guys, starting with Brendan, since you're sitting right here across from me. How's your summer been so far in co-hosting and providing content to the show?
It's been great. This has kept me busy throughout the summer. It's given me something to do and given me another side of journalism that I didn't really have that experience in, which is radio, obviously, and it's been really fun so far. I didn't expect to do radio, but I'm here now. And,
you didn't expect it.
I liked it. Yeah, I didn't know what type of internship I would have, but I really like the radio so far, and it's definitely kept me busy, and it's something I want to look more into.
Yeah, and you've been primarily a print media guy. You're a writer.
Yeah.
And so when we talked about this going into the summer and your thoughts, I mean, did you think you'd be so knee-deep in actually having a headset on and talking as much as you have?
I didn't know. I didn't know if I was just going to do behind-the-scenes stuff or if I was just going to do the pre-recordings and help out with that, but I wasn't really sure. But yeah, it's been a fun experience so far, and it's something I really wanted to try, and I've been able to do it.
Awesome. Brought a whole different dimension to, giving you some different options to look into in the future. So good. I really enjoyed hearing you, on the radio. Good delivery. Your segments have been enlightening, and you've, like I said, a lot of these reports, you've done a really good job in presenting them to our audience. So good for you. Nice work, and looking forward to continuing to hear you with the few weeks that we have left in the summer. Kenji, what about you? How's the experience been?
Well, excuse me, but it's been an absolute blast, and I would like to say thank you again for accepting me for this internship once again. And like Brendan said, it's been keeping me busy, and it's kind of making me explore a little bit of California that I kind of didn't know.
Yeah, it's neat. I mean, you've been providing our Southern California report throughout the summer, presenting some great stories to our audience, and we're all about the local community, but we're using this medium to kind of make the world a little smaller, and which segues to some cool things that we'll be talking about over the next few weeks that we're going to be presenting this fall. We're going to be doing a lot of outreach that you're going to hear about in coming weeks. I can't wait. I can't say anything right now, but we're going to be making our world a little bit smaller. You guys are going to find it, and I think it's going to add a cool element to our show, to our programming. And as you know, once we get into football season, obviously our broadcast and production teams are going to be out there doing games again. We're going to be presenting things that are a little different. It's not going to be what we've done in the past. Some of it will be, but there'll be some new wrinkles added that are really gonna blow up our audience base, and I can't wait. I can't say anything right now. I promised I wouldn't, but I think in coming weeks we're gonna reveal some things, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Next week, guys, Brendan's actually going to be back with me next week, and we are going to be out at Horizon High School. We're going to be doing our show from the weight room at Horizon High School next Saturday morning. We'll be featuring all things Horizon. It's going to be a lot of fun, and as well as some of our other regular segments as well. So by all means, please tune in, join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. And Brendan, you're an alum. How does that feel? You getting all goosebumpy and stuff going back to your old high school, or good memories, bad memories? What is it?
Been weird. It'll be weird being back at Horizon, but I went there for 4 years, enjoyed it, and I'll get to see the weight room, which I haven't seen in 4 years. So yeah,
it'll be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and I believe next week I think Kelsey Raggette will be co-hosting with us next Saturday from Houston. So she'll be presenting some really cool reports as well. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it, and we're just privileged to continue to offer up and make the world a little bit smaller, and presenting some good reporting, giving you guys a platform, and allowing folks to wake up with us every Saturday morning. We are so excited and happy that you continue to stay with us and in allowing us to tell stories. That's what we've been. We've been storytellers, and just had a great time with it. So anyway, that being said, Brendan, take us on out.
Sweet. Thank you to Rhonda once again from Ziggy's Coffee, the owner and GM, for allowing us to be in this location today to have our broadcast live at the location. It's a great spot. Everyone come check it out. She said if you come in today, you get $1 off.
Oh, I forgot about that. You get a discount. You mentioned the Varsity Sports Show.
I'll remind everyone of that one more time before we close it out right here. So
sure.
Thank you again to Rhonda and the rest of our summer intern team, including Austin Hepola from Arizona State University, Connor Ackerley from Corona del Sol High School, Brooke Earley from the University of Arizona, Kelsey Raggette from Texas Southern University, and Kenji Ito, and of course Vince, who were live with me today. Thank you to our guests, the big man of the week, Carlos Pedregon of Barry Goldwater High School, therapist Matt Fugita, and Whitney Thistle from Maggie's Place. Please be sure to check out all of our archive content on Twitter at Varsity Show, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you, our producer, Aaron Decker, and join us back here next Saturday at 8 a.m. from Horizon High School on AM 1060 KDUS on the Varsity Sports Show. On behalf of my co-host in Orange County, California, ASU's Kenji Ito and Vince Delicio, my name is Brendan Sodell from Arizona State University, and go Varsity.
Go Varsity, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KDUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.